tune and see what happens.
Try, yeah.
It's not going to do anything. What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Happy Gear and Beer Day. How's everyone doing? And, man, we got a whole bunch of friends here. What's going on? Just got off work on the G20, pouring the vodka tonic. Nice, dude. Man, I was talking the other day, like, we have a soda stream, and I've been using that to, like, mix drinks recently, and it's very, it feels like not as heavy, you know? Like,
yeah.
Got to be something nice about, like, a vodka tonic. Or like
fancy dude over here with the soda stream. I love it.
Oh, my wife wanted one, so. I think, actually, my mom gave it to me as a gift because my wife wanted one.
Yeah, that sounds
she's like, oh, you could use this.
That checks out.
But yeah, nice. That's a great choice. Andy, what's up, dude? I'll check into your cab as well, man. I saw you had messaged about that. As you guys know, if you're coming to the stream, cabs are a little slow, but we'll take a look on that. Happy Wednesday, Anthony. What's up? JP already knows what he wants. He already wants purple.
I saw Team Red already too, actually.
Team Red. I like that. People come here and know what we're about. And we certainly don't mean to divide anyone, but tonight it is certainly
tonight we're dividing people. Tonight's a full-on war, everybody.
Tonight we're going to divide you a little bit. You know, everyone getting along, but it's going to be Team Red.
Yeah, everybody play nice.
Tonight. Yeah. Fizzy, Everclear, and Lime. Nice, dude. I haven't had Everclear. That is something I haven't had in a long time. Team Red. Anthony, Team Red. Nice, dude. So, yeah, I guess obviously from, you know, the red and purple lights and from what we've been posting and all that stuff, we are going to kind of dive into the whole red and purple ordeal a bit tonight.
Yeah. What separates them?
What separates them? Why they're both cool? And you know, I think there's a lot of misconceptions. Like when people say 100R and 100P, like for people who are not really as familiar with us, I'll get emails being like, "What's the difference with the R and the P and the 120 and all that?" And everything is kind of related. I think people assume that like R and P stand for something aside for red and purple, but they don't. They don't. Like it legitimately just pertains to.
It's not any more complicated or secretive than.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we're just gonna shed a bit of light on that and actually kind of take a listen to each channel for different styles of music. Bo and I are both very different players, and we're gonna each take a crack at each amp and dial in how we would use each channel for each sound that we like and. Yeah, kind of what they excel at, all that fun stuff. But firstly, what's everyone drinking tonight? And also, I like to ask, did anyone get any fun new gear this week? I always like to check in and see what people are trading around and all that because it makes me want stuff. So, purple all the way from here. Purple's getting a lot of love here. Team Magenta, there you go. That's nice and neutral. My Gen 120 MK3 for a week, and I think Team Purple for right now. It's quite tasty. Nice. That's awesome. You'll need all four. Yeah, so does anyone here have a 100P or a 100R? I guess a 120 too, but are there any 100P and 100R owners on here? And if so, maybe you could let us know like what led you to that choice, kind of why you gravitate to that channel as well. What's up, Cliff? How's it going, man? Sounding good. Hope the weather's better out there. Tomorrow is looking like it's going to be real bad again, but...
Yesterday was a weird one. It was raining yesterday.
Yeah.
It got really warm and started raining.
It's classic Winnipeg thing, man. It's like minus 40, and then it's like above 0, and then it just gets cold, and then you just get this giant ice sheet on everything.
On every road, yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens. I live in Winnipeg and can't find a place to try either one of them out. Well, we could probably help you out. Shoot me an email if you're interested. L&M, I know, should be getting Pro Series in stock. L&M does carry the Pro Series stuff. So, Lefroy 12, nice. Just kind of reading through here. 100p, very tight, very unique. Thanks, man. Yeah, the purple channel does have something unique about it, and we'll definitely talk a bit about that too. Haven't been able to play Revv yet, but purple catches my ear. 2 weeks and no boost for me. Nice, that's awesome, man. Well, no, keep her going. That's great. 3 degrees here right now, and nice. Man, nice Black Les Paul. Thanks, man. This is Dorian's, and it has. I've been using this a lot in the studio here for recordings and like demos and stuff because it's got this Evertune bridge on it. And I will say, I always have known what they do, but I've always been someone who's like, oh, well, you'll lose a lot of the feel using something like that.
Yeah.
But getting into it and trying it and realizing that you can calibrate it for like different sensitivities and stuff, and recording with it and realizing that I spend probably about half the time I spend tracking anything trying to tune.
Yeah, totally.
Especially
it's a
when
time killer.
Yeah, when you're laying guitar, or like layering guitars and stuff. So like the amount of time that this has saved me recording is like unbelievable.
I feel like anyone who's like records on a regular basis, this is like such a secret weapon.
Yeah, man. And I'm seeing a lot more dudes, especially like with the lower tuning guys, because like when you're using that low of a tuning, like stability is like the biggest challenge. Like even with using heavier strings, when you're playing with like a low, G or F or something, it's low.
People do that. This is wild,
dude. Yeah, get the 8 string with the low F with like the 80 gauge string on it with the Evertune, and you're just like it'll smack, dude. Like
crazy
for those low tunings. So I definitely get the hype.
Okay, we need one of those. We need an 8 string with a low F, please.
Yeah, an 8 string with a low F. Who wants to send us one? Let's go. Hello from Portland. What's up, man? How's it going? Nice to meet you, Kyle. Oh, yeah, Kyle, I've been emailing with you. I think, unless it's another Kyle Nelson. PRS24, nice, dude. I love PRS stuff. And that Schecter looks better every time I see it. And, dude, this is the ticket, this one right here. Yeah.
The Schecter, yeah, it's such a beautiful guitar, man.
You're right, Quentin. The Evertune does remove a huge amount of wood. So I will say, this is a fairly heavy-bodied guitar. So, and I also I find that with certain pickups, too. Like, certain guitars rely on body mass, so like I agree, like this does take out a lot of mass. So I'd be curious to hear how this sounds in a smaller instrument, because this already, like, Les Paul's a big heavy guitar, so I think that kind of compensates a little bit for what this does.
I had a friend with a Evertune and a Strat once upon a time, actually.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan, but I never got a chance to really play that guitar. This one plays like a dream.
Yeah, this thing's sick. Dorian just set it up, and yeah. But anyway, sorry. We kind of digress. Someone mentioned the Les Paul, and I was like, dude, you want to hear about this bridge? It's sick.
Let's talk.
So let's go. Yeah. Never tried one. It's totally, and that's exactly it, Josh. Like, I was someone who was like very traditional. It's like, oh, I like being able to have the feel of, where I want it. But like, I will say for recording specifically, and I will say for rhythm guitars, like, unbelievable tool.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely circumstantial, but yeah. From between the Schecter NJ and the Gibson Junior. Totally different vibes, man. I don't know. I feel like you'd like a good Les Paul Junior, eh?
I love Les Pauls, yeah.
And
Les Paul Juniors are totally
that
my
seems
style.
like your vibe with like a single P90.
Totally my style. That's totally my style. Yeah, you nailed it.
100%. Yeah, I like the old, like, kind of like mahogany red looking ones.
Yeah, I had a buddy with a Les Paul Junior, actually. I used to love that guitar. Steal it from all the time.
Nice. How the G3 been debating getting a G4? Yeah, man. We'll talk a bit about that too. Like how it's funny because like the amp obviously led to the pedals, but the pedals have kind of started to feed back into the amps a little bit, like in terms of like, like now with Channel 2 having the drive stages, that was a feature of the G2. The original one didn't have that, so it's kind of starting to go full circle, but we will talk a little bit about that too. Off the top, I guess, before we really dive in, does anyone have any questions off the cuff about the purple and the red channel? Like, otherwise we can just kind of get into what each does and like the history of them. So I think a lot of people would think that the red channel was the thing that came first, but the purple channel actually was Dan's original design.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the idea. I mean, as we said, junior, the older I get. Oh yeah. I feel like I appreciate like Les Paul juniors and stuff like that more now that I'm 30 plus.
Yeah, we're not kids anymore,
yeah,
man. Yeah,
exactly. So like again, I guess we're doing this just because like there is a lot of kind of presumption about what the RNP stand for, and legitimately it just stands for red and purple. So on the Generator 120, it is a 4-channel amplifier which has the purple and the red channel, and it's not necessarily like a rhythm and a lead channel. They're just two different flavors of high gain.
Yeah.
Exactly. As a general statement, sorry, Andy, got a fly, getting a beer. Oh, nice, man. Have a good time. See you later. Yeah, talk to you soon, man. Yeah, like they're just kind of different in that regard. So with the 120, you get both channels. The purple channel was Dan's original Revv high gain channel, and from the get-go, I think his approach was like just kind of taking parts of sound, like without basing it on anything, just taking aspects of different sounds that he liked, to put into one channel. Like there were things that he liked about 5150s, but there were things he didn't like. There were things he liked about Rectos, but things he didn't like. So it was just kind of like, this is the sound that I like.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a very simple philosophy, but like he just kind of knew what he liked about those types of sounds
and he sculpted
and how to achieve that, basically. And kind of made that channel. And the purple channel is very tight. It's very mid-forward. Very focused, very hi-fi. And that was, I think, the initial approach, was to have something that was very crisp and clear, but still very aggressive, but also, like, I keep saying clear, but, like, it's really dirty and it's gainy and it's hairy, but you can hear everything,
Yeah, but I know what you mean when you say clear, though, too.
Yeah.
Because my biggest thing trying to, like, stack up the R to the P is that Yeah, this like I feel like this hides my mistakes a little bit better.
That's actually a good way to put it. That has more of like the scooped mid,
Yeah,
like sag. Yeah, exactly.
it's a little more forgiving to a player like me.
Yeah, and that's maybe why I like it for leads.
That's why I like
and
it.
I
Yeah.
will say, like, yeah, they do suit for different things, but overall, you know, like general approach, the purple is much more mid forward, a little more modern. So if you do like those kind of tighter tones without really having to boost, that might be more to your taste. And then when he came out with that, yeah, there were people that were like, yeah, upper mid forward. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony Best knows everything that I don't. No, not in a bad way. Anthony, I will say, has like a ridiculously innate ear for tone.
Yeah?
So, yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. So yeah, I guess when that came out, there were people that still liked more of the sag and more of like the scoop, I guess, that you would get from a rectifier or like a really hot Marshall. You know, like in a certain setting, I guess. So the red channel, I think, was kind of something that he made to bridge the gap between what he was wanting to hear versus what people who might
traditional.
yeah,
smooth
like
amp
like
guys,
something
yeah.
something that could respond more traditionally in terms of the way the power amp like breaks up, and in terms of again like that kind of mid for with like more of like an 80s type tone.
Yeah, totally.
But at the same time also with more of just like a sludgy or down-tuned tone. Like there's
Sludgy's a good word for it too. Like without getting messy though. Like it's
yeah,
I don't
and
get-
then the same thing is there. And I will say, you know, you have the ability to obviously boost your mids and dial in a really wide array of tones with
Totally.
that. But that's just kind of like the general philosophy. Yeah, exactly, Sam. Saturation levels for sure. Yeah. I find the 100p is unforgiving. Your mistakes will stand out. Totally, man. But I guess like, you know, it motivates you to play more. But it's very crisp and very hi-fi, so it might actually reveal parts of your playing that you might not have heard before. The MK3 purple is more forgiving than the MK2. Is literally not good to play the MK2. I will say, so this is another question too that we get fairly often, is with the 100R and the 100P, are the other channels different?
Yeah.
They are not. On the Mark II, they were. On the Mark II, the channel 2 on the 100P sounded different than on the 100R.
Really? Okay, I didn't
Yes,
know this
yeah.
before my time. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess so. Yeah, think about that. But yeah. So now like with the Mark III amps, you'll get the same clean channel and second channel on the 100P, the 100R, the 120. It's all same across the board, so you don't really need to worry about that. But on the Mark II, yeah, they were different. And I will say that I really liked the sound of the 100P channel 2 more than the 100R channel 2.
Okay.
Like it was, yeah. So now at least those channels have been put into their own space and
They're their own things. Yeah.
exactly. I find the P lets you add so much more gain because of how tight your architecture is. So you can get really nice grow. Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, it's very clear. So it does react to gain staging well, like, you know, putting a drive in front of it or some compression or anything like that.
Adrian's talking about boosting it with
the
TS style drive. Yeah, I saw your comment in the
thread there.
the thread. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked, I don't know if it was you who said that or someone else, but people always ask, like, you know, with our amps, obviously we'll go through the aggression levels and stuff like that too. Like there is a lot of different saturation options, but I forget who it was that said in that thread. So also, just for anyone who doesn't know, there's a Facebook group called the Revv amplification community. Sorry, I can speak.
You got it, dude.
Where it's like basically just like a Revv group for owners and people who are, you know, curious about Revv or want to talk about our stuff or anything like that. But someone had said, I don't think of an amp requiring a drive as an amp having a weakness. I just think of a drive being another variable that you can put into your rig to enhance it.
I love that comment.
Which was
too.
great because, like, yeah, I feel like people are like, oh, you know, you can't use that amp without a drive, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
you can use lots of amps that don't need a drive and put a drive on it too. Like, I don't think it's a weakness to have that. I think that using a drive with that is something that you can really use to sculpt the
It's just
tone
another
more.
tool, man. It's the way to
100%.
sculpt your sound. Exactly.
Yeah. Can each of you tell us what's your favorite song that's recorded with the purple or red channel? That's
Oof.
a good question.
That is a good question. It's a hard question.
Yeah, I will say Dorian was mixing one of the new Comeback Kid songs. We got them to track because I won't say too much, but we did some stuff with Comeback Kid and we had them track with the purple, and they used the purple channel on their new record, Heavy Steps, and it sounds super pissed off.
Yeah,
so I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing they're doing the video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the red, probably any, like, I know Jeff Loomis has used that in the studio. I really like Jeff's tone. I think he's a good example of a modern player who gets along really well with the red channel because he does, like, a little more of those kind of, like, sub-low frequencies and things like that. Yeah. The best song ever recorded on MK3 in history is Sam's Beatdown Hardcore demo. The G4 cowbell, dude. Yeah, I did a demo that Anthony loves. Well, it was, I think that was actually Red Channel, and it was this guitar with the Evertune downtuned to like drop B or something, and it was just like sludgy hardcore riffs.
Oh, have I seen this before?
It was one. I don't know if it was like before or after you started. It was like maybe a year ago.
Okay.
But yeah, Dorian got like some disgusting tones out of
Nice.
the Red Channel on it. So, but that's the thing. Like I'm someone who generally gravitates to the Purple Channel, but for that video specifically, the Red Channel did what I wanted, you know, and that's, I think, another example of like, you know, it's not like, I think there's a misconception where like one is modern and one's traditional, and that's not necessarily the case. Like they both are suited for, you know, whatever you want them to do. They definitely have a different voice depending on what voice you prefer.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too, is like they can be dialed in to sound pretty comparable.
Robbie Higher Lows is all Red Channel, actually. Yeah, I didn't think that's what it was going to be, but that's what it was. And that's another example. That's another example. Like I went into tracking that and immediately just went to the Purple Channel, and then flipped back to the Red Channel, and it just worked for that. Like I was going for more of a punk rock tone with that and less of like a metal tone. So what I ended up doing actually was having the gain on the Red Channel at like maybe 2 out of 10, but on the red aggression.
Yeah.
So it's saturating quite a bit, but you're not actually getting a lot of like sizzle out of the gain.
Oh, okay.
And then
Yeah,
I boosted some of the leads with a Tube Screamer copy, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, cool. Bought the 100R and purple pedal. Nice, dude. That's a good way to do it too. So much fun. I thought you were referring to the purple G20. So, well, no, the G20 is based off the Purple Channel. So yeah, the G20 is a little more similar to Channel 3 on one of these amps here. It sounds tight for red. Nice. Yeah, we quad tracked all the rhythms and stuff, and I'm sure Dorian used vocal line or some other shit to make them like super precise. So yeah, but we just tracked all that with a direct out on the 120. So. So sorry, that's a bit about each channel. And I guess, let's kind of dive in. So off the top, like do you want to start or do you want me to start? Like let's just kind of go through each channel a bit and how, like, I know I chose to go off the top, like Bo chose red and I chose purple. Just because those two are playing more, but I'll show you kind of how I would approach this. I'll show you how he can approach that, and then we'll flip, and you can kind of hear like more of a metal tone and more of a rock tone out of each amp. And if you guys want to hear stuff as we go, let us know for sure. Spider from the band Vader did some recent demos on the G120. I saw that actually. Yeah, I mean, he did a great job. All right, had some sip. Oh, by the way, I was drinking. Sorry, Bikey McBikeface by Half
Local
Pints,
brewery,
which is Half Pints. This is one of my favorite local beers. I will say it's a grapefruit lager. It's not a rattler, so it is still like it's 4.5%. I guess it's a light beer, but it's great.
4.5 is pretty like average.
What
I'm doing the Lakeside Kolsch by Lake of the Woods Brewing Company.
Nice. I really like Lake of the Woods Brew Co. I got to go out to their new patio once at like the new Hargrave Street. Before everything just like shut down again. But yeah.
On Hargrave Street?
Hargrave Street Market.
Really?
The new thing downtown. They
Okay,
have they have like a Lake of the Woods Brew Co. there. It's just like a little one, like it's just like the tap room. Like I don't know if there's like all the food and shit, but
I probably just don't know that because everything's been closed down for so long.
Exactly. Anyways, so yeah. So I chose the Purple Channel for my favorite just because I think, for me personally, it is something that I use more. I'm definitely a fan of the much more mid-forward tones. And I like experimenting with kind of like boosting and scooping out the presence on top of that because like overall, I just like the response of the way the mids feel on the Purple Channel. It's not necessarily about the actual frequency, but as Anthony was saying, it's that upper mid thing, which I find really, if you want that tight pick attack, is quite nice.
Yeah, okay.
So this is, I'll just start like from the get-go and kind of show you how I would approach it and like what everything does. But this is the Purple Channel completely at noon with none of the voicing switches turned on. So not quite as metal as you might expect. Just play a bunch of notes. But like that to me doesn't inherently sound metal. And I know that like the perception is like purple's metal, and it's like not really, man.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely mid forward, but if you
it's not
give it a little bit of a scoop that's you silly Canucks. What's up, Billy? He's back. How's it going? LP makes it sound really thick. Yeah, I agree, man. Like the Les Paul is like, this is a very classic tone.
Yeah.
I know the Evertune obviously helps with the tuning stability and stuff, but yeah, like, just a nice Les Paul that's really balanced sounding, and yeah, that to me doesn't like off the cuff sound, super metal by any means. So that the switches, like, I guess firstly I'll step to the aggressions. So the aggressions like are more or less just like a little bit more saturation, and it kind of falls like the blue I think is a little bit more tight, and the red is just more saggy. Like it's basically just like different kind of.
Can we try something actually too?
Yeah.
Can we just try like, so you're like totally flat right now with everything. Can we just compare what the red sounds like totally flat next to that?
Yeah, 100%. Let's do it.
What was that? So there's different guitars too, obviously, but
effects there.
Sorry?
Do you want to plug this in? Back and forth. Yeah. It's more sag.
Way more sag.
Totally. But not like more or less gain.
No.
Which is nice. Like, I guess the red is more like saturated, but it, like in terms of the actual amount of gain you can get out of it, like they're both, fairly hot. Do you have a noise gate? We actually are running the gate in the amp right now. Yes.
Yeah, we both have our gates off on the board.
That's without. So it works really well. And I will say, no, it's not heavy at all. Actually, it's like you can get a lot of sustain out of it. Like, I'm not running a gate in front at all. Like that's just the gate built into the amplifier. You can get a lot of sustain out of it. Yeah. And it's gonna go for sure. Yeah, it'll start to cut around there. But you can adjust the sensitivity on the back. I've got it dialed fairly high right now, and you can still get a lot of sustain.
Yeah.
But if I want it to cut.
It's so tight.
Yeah, it's a really good gate. The G8 actually was based on the response to the gate in the Mark III. Like people were really like, man, it's actually like worked great. You should turn this into a pedal.
Absolutely.
And Dan was like, okay. That was that was kind of like how as he does. He's like, oh, yeah, I could do that. and then he does it.
Comes back with a perfect pedal. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I have the G8 on the board. I'm not running it in front right now, but I will say I'm running it in 4-cable method, and even running it in conjunction with the gate in the amp, I don't think it gates too hard.
Yeah.
Like it's great, but we can jump there when we get to some of the really hot tones. Yeah. So that's basically channel 3, just flat. With the Derek. So the aggression levels. You'll mostly hear it in like the mids in the attack. Quit stealing your what? Quit stealing your what, Derek?
Monsters here.
Yeah. So that's what the aggressions are doing on that channel. Basically, it's it does add more drive, so it kind of does what a boost does, but it's more or less just the saturation in there.
Yeah.
What did I just do?
I don't know, but you did drop it.
Oh wow! I just made the Evertune go out of tune.
Whoa!
Because stealing your riffs. Oh, that's what it is. Derek, I was trying to get the Evertune to do the bend thing earlier, and it wouldn't do it. I'm like 80% of the time on the blue aggression. Yeah, man, I'm definitely a fan of blue aggression on both the red and purple channel. I think like it's just the right amount of tightness. Whereas red, like again, is really tight, but. Yeah. And then the voicing switches, like bright obviously is treble, cut is a mid boost, and then bass is obviously bass. But at the same time, like
for fat, you mean the fat?
Sorry.
Boost? Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. I'm really a fan of like just the overall voicing they add.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily the frequency that it boosts, but just like the way it enhances the attack.
Yeah. Voicing is huge, but also I noticed like feel is such a big thing. Like the way it changes, the way the guitar feels underneath when you change any of these settings is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the fat and the cut.
Jacob, off the cuff, if you want like a Swedish death metal tone, I'd probably go with the red channel. Yeah, a little more like kind of saggy in the mid range, a little more saturated. If you're looking for like the more classic In Flames, like Clayman era, absolutely red channel. I'm red on both at the strum and sunset in front. Nice, dude. Or blue and purple with no boost. Red is just awesome in its methods. What kind of tubes are in it? 6L6s and 12AX7s it comes stock with, yeah. So sorry, with the voicing switches there, as I said, like I do hear more treble, but I hear a lot just more like attack more than anything, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, I would almost personally rather like, you know, instead of doing this, I would rather like dial the bright and actually pull it back a little bit. And you get that attack, but you can kind of control the obvious like amount of top end there. And same thing with the mid cut, like.
Well, it's the thing. It's like it's a mid boost and like a treble boost, but it's not the same as just like rolling that EQ. It's like it's such a specific feel and like
man. Yeah, it's not just like here's more treble in this hertz range.
Yeah, it's like finding the relationship between those buttons and the actual EQ is like
100%.
So yeah.
Billy, you can absolutely use EL34s. You just have to bias the amp differently. Is it? I forget what it is.
I can't remember.
I won't tell you what to bias it to. It's in the manual.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But you can do EL34s, 6L6s, KT88s, KT77s.
Someone said they're using 66s.
You can do 66s. I asked Dan about that, and you can. I forget what he said to bias them to. But yeah, definitely. And you can also mix too, because it's a quad. So if you wanted to like mix EL34s with something else, or like I know Anthony, I don't know if you were doing the 77-88 combo or if it was John Vaught that was doing that. But somebody was running a KT77, KT88 combo and said they were really, really enjoying it a lot. So yeah, you can mix and match and have all that kind of fun.
I'd love to hear that actually.
Yeah, well, that was actually what I think we were talking about doing for one stream is like actually having all the tube sets here and like swapping them as we go and showing people how to bias the amp. So we could get you on for that one.
100%. Let's do it.
All the amps.
Love
it. Yeah. So that's basically it. And then the bass does give you a little more of the sub low end, the fat.
You got it.
The fat. Right, if you want more of the sub bass frequencies, which personally I'm a fan of very more like high mid focus tones. So I usually will run the bright and the cut, which is like the mid boost with maybe just like a little bit of that, and I actually prefer the blue with the gain turned back a little bit. As I was saying, when someone asked about the high or low stuff, like we ended up using the red aggression, but with the gain really low, so like you're getting a lot of saturation. It's really clear, as opposed to like if that's what if you want it to be hairier, great. I personally prefer it to be like saturated and like pushing, but not quite as fizzy.
Yeah.
So like something like that would be. Robbie's steal my tricks. I have a KT88 606 quad on my 5150 SIG head. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, awesome. Also, can you tell my mom that Jethro Tull is overrated? No, my dad loves Jethro Tull. Come on, man. I love that.
Sorry, Billy.
I love that comment, though. That's great. There it is. Oh, John, you're learning. We have our friend John Plett doing sound tonight. Manny is actually going to do some gigs with Jordan Saints here. So John came in and has already learned the way of cracking the beer into the microphone to make it seem like we're doing it.
Doesn't take them long around here, guys.
Yeah. So sorry, that's kind of my Purple Channel rundown and why I No. Why? That's kind of why I really like the purple channel for those types of tones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of show you guys like the way I've been using it. Like I've been
Do you
playing
want
the 120 here for like the last couple of days or whatever.
Do you want to step through this one, or do you want to go on the red one right away, or do you want to kind of show how you would go about dialing this?
I don't know. I got the red right here. I'm already plugged into it. Let's just do this right now.
I was
like,
going to do a red run through.
I mean, yeah.
Here.
So, like I said, it's like a sludgier sound. It's a saggier kind of sound, right? So I always find to kind of like match it anywhere even close to like the 20. I always gotta add like a little more treble in there.
Yeah.
Treble and that. I was using it with the bright switch always on, just like you do. I find that bright and cut seem to be on
all the time.
All the time. Yep. With a lot of players.
The bright switch is globally on.
It's
on my amp.
It's all the time.
It adds just something, man, in those high mids. Like, yeah.
And I was liking the red aggression too. Again, it's the saggier, more forgiving kind of channel for me.
Right.
And I find that the red again just kind of helps like me get my kind of sound out of it.
I'm gonna start flat.
Sorry?
Start flat and let's just like walk through her. Like So like how would I guess like are you someone who prefers to gain stage in front of the amp, or do you like to be able to get it all in one channel?
I like the gain stage in front of the amp. I'm a big pedal guy,
Yeah. So do you find that this channel responds like nicely to that compared to the purple one, since it's more of like a traditional feel, or do you find you benefit more from?
Honestly, man, I go back and forth in the purple and red channels.
Yeah,
like,
I just saw someone say like with boosting the purple channel, like it boosts, but it still stays so crisp that I feel like you would, as a pedal guy, benefit more from the character of the pedals on a channel that's gonna like show it more.
Yeah, okay.
If that makes sense.
Saying that the purple channel would show it more?
Less,
okay.
Because it stays so clear.
Yeah. I guess, if I was going to run pedals in front of it, actually, no, let's give that a shot real quick. Let's see if I can run something in front of this red channel. And
like a G2 or something.
I've been playing it this week, like the 120, and just like there's so much gain on tap with these amps, I wasn't even like trying to run pedals in front of it. It wasn't even something I was really thinking about, but let's get the gain right, like.
So that's the red channel, like with nothing.
With the gain all the way dialed all the way back.
I feel like on the neck, like rolled back, that would almost be like a nice like bluesy tone. Yeah.
That.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's like the mid character of that. Nice. Whoa. There you go. Major 7, yeah. It's like anything with the major or minor 7s, man. I'm like a basic jazz bitch. Just like anything with 7s just sounds good.
It sounds good, man. Yeah,
Bro,
exactly.
Can you even play Chon chords? It's like the one Bubble Dream riff that has the minor 7 that everyone thought invented that chord.
Bubble Dream?
It's a song by Chon. I'm sure you've heard it.
Oh, okay.
I'm in drop. Shit, I'm in drop. I'm in drop D. I can't play it. It's like a very specific, like the minor 7.
Okay, yeah.
The whole riff is just based off those.
I love that.
But it sounds great, and I feel like people just like heard that and like just assumed that was like the only jazz chord ever that you could do that like also sounds poppy.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like, yeah. Chris has a G2 that he uses. We need to try that though. Yeah. Commented? Was that you, Alex? Oh, Derek, I think you're commenting under the Revv name. That's awesome. Cliff, you're running the KT8877 mix? Yeah, absolutely. It's the best. Yeah, that's definitely Derek.
That's definitely Derek, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's red channel. So, again, that's like the lowest amount of gain.
Now he switched. Sure am, bud. That's awesome.
Classic.
Sorry.
No, sorry. No, it's all good. So that's crazy. That's the lowest amount of gain. I mean, it's not much, I guess.
It's nice though. Like, it does sound kind of like Marshall-esque to me.
Totally, yeah. It's a good rock and roll tone.
Yeah.
Man,
I will say I've noticed with the G2 you can use it as a boost and have the gain fairly hot and it doesn't get all gross.
Overdo it? Yeah.
That's cool, man. That just kind of goes back to what we were just saying. It's like boosting isn't necessarily just to compensate for something. Like you can just do it to get like
to get a different
just to
kind of
acquire
thing, yeah.
a different tone, yeah, and like boosting an already high gain channel on a lower gain setting. And then that sounds very different than channel 2, you know.
It also sounds very different than just turning the gain up on the channel.
I will say, like, I guess we'll jump more into like, you know, what changed with the Mark II and the Mark III. But I will say the red channel on the Mark III is like very, very, very versatile, and I feel like it is like for those types of tones a little more in that realm than this is. But
yeah.
I feel like the red channel got like a very large overhaul in terms of those types, like that type of versatility.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But yeah, so I was using it a lot with both these on and that red regression mode. This is kind of my favorite setting. And I always leave the bass kind of rolled in too. I have no idea where that gate is set right now. It sounds like it's choking just a little bit.
Let's take a look. Where's the gate? Should do it. And like for a lead tone, would you boost that with something, or do you literally just like
no,
reverse
actually,
it?
so what I was finding was cool was just with like this cut switch or the cut knob here.
Yeah.
Going from like kind of like a rhythm tone to a lead tone without changing any of the EQ was just like fat for more of a rhythm tone.
Yeah, you can definitely hear more of that sub low end, the like a little chewier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then just using the cut switch instead of the fat switch for more of a lead thing.
Yeah, man.
You're not getting like a volume boost and stuff with it. Obviously, it's still like there's maybe little other subtle changes that I would make for an actual lead tone.
But you do have the switchable master volume.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's turn the
but
second master up.
Just to like for like a starting setting to like go from like a rhythm to a lead, that was a big thing that I was doing there. Totally. It was like changing the fat to the cut.
Just like occupying different spaces for when you're playing more full-bodied stuff.
Different sonic territory, man. Yeah.
And I find, like literally when I'm going from a rhythm to a lead tone, like that's honestly the difference. It's just like a little bit less high mid.
Yeah.
And like a bit of urban delay. Like, you know, it's not like overall that big of a different sound. Yeah. Sorry, I saw a couple comments here. Do you mind scrolling up just to touch there? I just missed one thing. So, sorry, Jacob says, how would you compare the red channel more to a Marshall? Or, sorry, would you compare the red channel more to a Marshall and the purple channel more to a PV5150? I don't think either of them are exactly akin to either of those amps. I will say in terms of, like, the kind of sizzle you can get in the mid-range of a Marshall, yes, that would be more akin to the red channel than the purple channel. Like, again, the purple channel is very smooth and very like focused mid-range, whereas the red channel does get a little chewier in the mids. The purple channel does have the mid presence of a 5150, but it's cleaner and it's a little more like full-bodied, I would say, in terms of the lower end. Like it's like a tighter, fuller low end, almost as if you went in and like mixed a 5150 in post. And like made it sound the way you want to. I think the red channel is more what I want. Derek says more like a Recto to be. Yeah, like if it had the EQ of a Marshall. That's a very good way to put it, Derek. Derek says I think the red channel is more what I like a Recto to be, almost like it had the EQ of a Marshall. That's a good way to put it. Alex, what are you saying? It has a good.
It has the
good of a 50. Alex says it has the good of a 5150 and less of the shit of a 5150. So, but yeah, and again, like you know, there were people that literally asked, like, does PNR stand for Plexi and Recto?
Yeah,
and it's kind of funny because, like, no, not at all. But in a certain breath, they do move more in that direction.
It's like
we
were talking about before we started here was like we want to like just dispel that myth, but then also it's like. In certain ways,
I can see why people would think that, but at the same time, like we would never put R for Recto on something that wasn't a Mesa product.
Yeah,
like we would never do that. But yeah, what does Anthony say? I noticed that channel levels right now are at noon-ish. Is that where you prefer? I usually like to go like Derek was always telling me to go a little bit above noon, and I will say on channel 2, I definitely notice more of a difference with that. I don't like. Dan's philosophy with these amps, with at least with the Pro Series amps, like with the D20, obviously it's very different because it's a single platform that is meant to break up to accommodate for most of the tone coming from the front of the amp.
Yeah.
But where most of the tone is coming from in the channels of these amps, Dan really voiced them so that the channel could just exist in its own space without having to be pushed really hard. So I don't really find like a massive difference pushing the channel level, between 5 and 6. It's not really pushing the preamp hard enough that I personally notice a difference on the higher gain channels. I do notice more of a difference on the second channel with that.
Okay.
But not really on the first channel either, because it's not made to break up at all. Like, it's made to be very clean. And that's another thing too. Like, I people ask, like, is the D20 clean like the 120 or whatever? I'd say the G20 clean is more similar to the clean on the Pro Series amps, where they're very clean and full bodied and intended to stay clean.
Yeah.
Like, the second channel will stack better with pedals. Yeah. Yeah, Derek, channel level's hotter, master's lower. You get more out of the preamp that way. Always boost my 100 pews in overdrive. Doesn't need a rev for the sound. Yeah, man. Like, again, we'll go back to that. Like, adding overdrives and stuff is just a different character you can add to your tone. It's certainly not because anything's lacking. Is the attenuator in the amp from the Capture X? And if so, is there 3-option attenuation? So the unit in the 120 is similar to the Capture X, yes. It's not 3 levels of attenuation. It basically has the load box built in just for the overall output level, and then you can run the amp at 10 watts or at 120 watts. You are a gentleman, a scholar. Nice. Derek is a gentleman sometimes. He's a scholar.
Sometimes.
Attenuation's not the same. Yeah, attenuation's not the same as that. Like, attenuation where you can actually, like, adjust the level of power soak. It's not quite like that, no. Oh, there you go. Capture X attenuation is our design. Yeah. What else do we got here? Oh yeah, another thing we were going to talk about was the 7. Like, we get a lot of questions too about the 740 and what it is, if it's purple or red, and it's kind of in between both because it's a 6v6 based circuit. Like, people have asked if we could make like a 740p. And truthfully, like, it is kind of based off of that sound, but where it's a 6v6 circuit, it just responds a lot differently. It's kind of in between both. So the 740 is unique. It's not necessarily a red or a purple, and we couldn't make like a 740R or 740p. Like, it just exists as it is.
Its own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like, I guess, do you want to plug into this thing quick and see? Like,
yeah,
switch
sure.
it up and see. So like, yeah, like, see. Like, I guess I'll just go through your pedal rig, but like, how would you go dialing more of like a rock tone with this, where this is kind of like,
let's try,
mythed to be the metal amp? Like,
let's see.
Yeah, stop bugging you to update the 740 now. Let's go to my 100p. It'll happen. It won't be. It definitely will not be the 740 as it exists right now. Like, it will be a different amplifier, but there will be. Nice, thanks, Alex. Yeah, it'll be. Like, we don't know exactly. I guess I'm saying it will be. We don't know what it's going to be yet. It will be something in that size range, but it will be different than it is now. I have the Capture X and the Fry Piece 100, and I'm for the Fry, but it's nice to have the DI. You know what? I will say I haven't had a chance to try that. I've had a lot of really great luck with the Capture X, but I'm always down to try. I like trying all gear, so why not give it a shot?
I'll plug into your thing now.
Oh yeah, you are. Okay. So what do I have to do to gain staging?
Just I want to tune first.
Let's tune. Yeah, this will be fun. Bo gets to use my pedal board now. Nice. Bring her up to E standard and with that trim and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So knocking everything else out of tune as we go here. Yeah. Beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, what are you guys feeling? Are you thinking you're thus far? Are you team R? Are you team P? Oh, nice, Alex. You're team E. There you go. I will say, shout out to Ernie Ball for making this VP Junior tuner. It's become like a reflex to me now that, like, when I want to tune or like when I want to pause or something, I just hit it and it's like right there. It's like so convenient to have. You don't need the attenuators with the 100s or 120. The master volume control is ridiculous. Yeah, I will.
True.
I will concur with Anthony. It was made to be able to respond at low and high volumes the same way, and it does.
Yeah.
So obviously, when you're cooking it, Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was playing with this thing in an apartment all week, and it was dead quiet. It was as loud as I needed it, but like
Yep.
neighbors weren't complaining, right?
Nope, 100%.
Cool. Yeah. So this is not my rock tone right now. I can tell you that.
I can do what you want here. But... Oh, that's gonna go on you.
Oh man.
Love it. Love the trem. Oh yeah, tuner. Right, I have your tuner now.
Oh yeah. You have all the power here, dude.
Yeah. I wish there was like, I know it's like physically impossible, but just a trem that just like didn't do that. Like someone needs to make a trem where you can just have like calibrated tuning, like almost like what EVH did with the detuner, but like for your whole guitar.
For the whole thing, though.
Yeah, exactly. Just for your whole instrument. I can bass you.
I can also just grab a new guitar, I guess.
Oh yeah, well here, do you want to try the Aristides? That's very here. Take this. Take the LP. I'll take the Aristides. You're like, that thing's not made of wood. I want no part of this.
Get your fiberglass guitars out of here. Is that what it is? What is it?
It's called Arium. It's a proprietary material that they created.
Yeah, it sounds pretty made up.
It is. They made it. That's not real. Mom, is Slash real? Do you remember that? Do you remember that episode? South Park. You don't know that one? What? Oh, it's like it's like Slash is like the Tooth Fairy, and like they find out he's not real. Like, Mom, didn't tell me that Slash isn't real. Wow, I was just going to tune with that.
All right, so let's turn the gain down, I think, a little bit, first of all. Maybe a little more than that. Let's split the difference.
Immediately, how differently does that respond? Like,
oh, so different, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a little bit.
Man, I will say, like,
it's brighter than the red, so like I actually almost don't want to hit that bright switch right now.
But like I like how that sounds, and like it was I did kind of like I was back and forth with a customer a while ago who was like humming and hawing because he's a classic rock guy, and he's like, I want to get I kind of want to. He ended up going with 100p. And I sent him demos of both, and like immediately dialing in like that type of tone with this, I was like, oh man, like that mid range is very shapeable.
Yeah. Oh, incredibly, man.
Like you can make it work for any type of tone.
I was saying too, like I kind of go back on the R and the P all the time. Like they're so different, but they both do really cool things, man.
Yep.
Sorry,
I can hit this.
No, it's okay. Maybe hit that bright. So don't hear that sound, but I think it's gonna be way too much for me here. Oh yeah, let's roll that back.
And I will say,
that's the thing. Our EQ's still all at noon right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I will say, like, because of how mid forward this channel is, the bright switch like is very like tweakable, like when it's in there, because it's such a clear mid range. So like again, like that philosophy of like it's just the voicing that it adds, I think really applies to the third channel, maybe even more than the fourth.
Than the fourth, yeah.
Yeah. So like just keep playing that as you work. He's kind of hitting around the same frequency, but it feels like it's like
I can feel it in my hands. Like it's just way squishier.
It's the magic switch. Let's see here. I can play either with my 121p at midnight and not on my wife, but it's not what I choose to do. Nice. That's not where I thought that was going.
Everyone's got to hear it.
I think if I had to choose, I'd pick purple. Nice, dude. Yeah.
I love it.
The time I'd be running back to my MLIRs. Dude, the MLIRs are killer. Sorry, I always want to make sure we hit all the comments.
Oh, of course, man.
I feel like we're like, we're doing the thing, and then we're like, squirrel. But at the same time, I want to answer all the questions. So, nothing. He wanted nothing to do with the South Park reference. Aristides is for ballerinas, and I want one desperately. Dude, we'll get into this thing in a little bit. I had to bring it just because of the purple, obviously fitting. But yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, let's maybe add the mid too.
Yeah.
I feel like for that, like red is going to be what you want, but you want like that.
Yeah. I love that twin tracker, man.
It's so killer,
dude. So big. Yeah.
That riff just was like, actually, here, I'll give you the
chorus and some delay.
It's this one, dude.
You got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wrong pedal board.
Yeah. Dude, like, that's a killer 80s tone, man.
That chorus is so killer, dude. I love it.
Cool cat. that's a killer classic.
That's a
rock
killer tone, man.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like going from like the super ultra tight chug stuff to that is like a very different voice for sure. And we haven't even like touched the presence or the depth on it. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know where your thing is, but for that type of tone, I'm a big fan of scooping the presence and boosting it in your preamp. I think I've told you that before.
You have told me that before,
But
yeah.
like, so listen to that now. Play that same riff you were just playing. So that versus that.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
It works.
Yeah, it's like tighter without sounding like too like brittle and like
Yeah.
chirpy. Yeah,
Again, it's like you can occupy that frequency space without like having the harshness in your
exactly. Yeah.
power section. So yeah. But,
Do you have the depth cranked up though that high?
this is pretty much exactly how I would run this, to be honest. If I just do like that type
Totally,
of thing.
yeah.
And it's more effective at higher volumes. And it was Interval sound guy Chase who kind of tipped me off to this trick with like amps that you're pushing really hard. He's like, this is where all the top end comes when the amp breaks up. It's not in here.
Yeah.
It's in the tubes. So like if you actually pull back the top end, like, when you have a mic close up on a V30 and your presence is wide open and it just sounds like a pissed off bag of bees.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was like, he's like, roll your presence back and just get the appropriate amount of frequency from your preamp. And I was like, oh shit, like it's preventing the power amp from breaking up in a harsh way.
Yeah.
Where I can still dial the actual frequency in the top end I want.
And I think that all
So-
plays into like we're talking how like the fat, the bright, and the cut switches all interact with like the actual 3-band EQ as well. Like
Right,
it's not just
yeah.
a matter of getting more treble when you hit the bright. It's like it's a voicing thing. It's a voicing and an attack and a feel thing.
Absolutely. And that's why when people ask like, oh, what do you recommend for this sound? It's like, I'd have to hear how you pick and
Yeah.
like, all this type of stuff. It's like, it might not work the same way because all of these are going to be very particular to that.
I will say when I first started here and started playing through these amps, like it
Yeah.
wasn't as easy for me as just sitting down and plugging in and being like,
Yeah.
there he is. That's the perfect sound for me. Like it takes a little like bit of getting used to. At least for me, it took some coaxing.
Yeah. I will say like, for what they do, it's fairly easy mode, but if you're not familiar with the sound, you definitely have to like find it.
Yeah.
But like that's very differently than how I would dial that channel.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds very different.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
and that's, I guess, kind of the thing that we're saying with all of this is like, it doesn't really like, it's not like one is better for any certain thing. It really just comes down to like what type of character you like and how it responds to your playing. So, sorry, how does it for when you break up the amp, or do you have to? How about for when you break up the amp, do you have to roll off highs and bass? I guess that's kind of what we were just saying. Like when you really push it to break up, like we're running through the 2 Notes virtual cabinet right now, so we can't push it like crazy hard through a cab, but that's kind of what I was talking about with the presence. Like the presence controls. Sorry, I don't want to just burp into the mic. It's like working its way up. The presence is kind of the top end control for your power section. Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Like the treble in your preamp controls the preamp treble. And then obviously when you're at higher volumes and the amp is breaking up, more of that top end is coming from in the power section than the front end. So I personally find a really good way to tame that is to actually dial it back with the presence control and then actually find the amount of treble you want using the preamp once you've tamed that. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me, but yeah. I think that was easy to follow.
Well, it's kind of it sounds counterintuitive because like presence sounds like you want more of that because it's like, you want your
your amp
to be present at the same time.
Yeah.
But like it can get harsh in that top mid character for sure. Like not with a Revv. Like a Revv could, a Mesa could, a Marshall could. Like any amp can do that. So I think it's just a matter of like when you're at that volume, finding the amount of breakup you want, or like finding the amount of kind of top end breakup you want in that, and then working around that. Yeah. Brought my 100, but it is a 50 watt EVH cell. He was stunned at how much sonic landscape the Revv card. Oh, awesome, man! That's great. Thanks for letting us know, Matt. I hope you're doing well, man. So obviously you're on Team Red. We got a couple Team Reds. We got a couple Team Purples. Yeah. Really liking the purple channel. Yeah. So sorry. It's cool to hear you play on that, man, because like that's so differently than I would.
Yeah, that's my dad rock through a purple channel. Do you want to try your?
But dude, it rips. Like I love that.
Definitely
I
rips,
love
man,
that.
yeah.
Like I almost really like that. dude, like
The chorus
that's
is
the
just
tone
so
right there,
killer,
man. The
dude.
Dan Electric Cool Cat. Revv seems a lot more advanced than my Princeton RC3. It has more features, but it follows the same principles as a lot of amplifiers in terms of what it's trying to achieve. I think you just got to get comfortable with the work face on it, and it's not real. Once you,
It's intimidating to look at this many knobs sometimes, especially
it's a lot
if you're a
of buttons and
Princeton or a
knobs.
15 guy.
they're real straightforward amps. I mean, you might get along really well with the D20 if you like the Princeton or the AC15.
Definitely.
The D20 there. I think I'm not sure if your name is. If it's Evan or I can't see what the screen name is.
It's hard to read that.
But if you're into like a Princeton or an AC15, yeah, you may like the D20. It's more like thanks. Alex. It's basically like a single channel clean. It's based off its own thing. It's not based off anything, but I've heard people say that it is kind of Fender-ish, and I do kind of agree with that.
The D20?
Yeah,
it's Fender-ish.
Ish. It's not Fender-ish. It's not Vox-ish, but
it's maybe somewhere kind of in between. It's comparable in ways to both of them.
Yeah. And I will say, like, within the two-note software, you can emulate different types of power tubes. So, like, if you wanted it to sound like an AC15 or an AC30, you could just emulate EL84s. And Robbie, when shows are still a thing, I always started with my amp, Marshall JV at the time, with the presence and resonance at 0 and worked it up gradually until the tone was filled up properly. Yeah, that's a great way to do it because it always responds differently. And like, it sucks because you don't want to put your ear up to the cab, but like I'll see people dialing their live tone through a cab from like 10 feet away. And it's like, dude, the mic's right there.
Yeah.
Like the mic is picking it up from that far away. Mm-hmm. So like you kind of have to listen to it at least a little bit from that stance because that's what it's picking up. So, and I think, the top end, like the presence thing, definitely you'll notice that with like a V30 style speaker, it's like a fairly common thing. Yeah. Just like super harsh top end on them. So
that like ice picky, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I can
I
think I'm in tune. So yeah, I mean that's
totally flat right now.
Yeah. But I like because like that to me, it sounds like the mid range is kind of Marshall-ish. Mm-hmm. Like it has a little more of the sizzle, which versus this, like again, this like you don't hear that like hiss as much, not in a bad way, but like you know what I mean. There's that kind of sear. This has that, and it sounds a little more classic to me in that regard. So like when someone when I don't know if it was Robbie or if it was Andy asked about the higher low stuff that we tracked, and it just assumed that it was purple. It was all red.
Yeah.
And I think it was because for that we wanted a little bit more of that classic kind of punk rock tone as opposed to like a very ultra refined modern
hi-fi.
Yeah. So like right off the top, that sounds great. Like I got no issue with that.
Recognize that riff right away.
Yeah, that's from one of the new songs.
One of the new songs?
Yeah, Out of Mind.
Okay.
It's the chorus riff.
Okay, yeah. That just sounds like something.
It's the shop.
It's the shop
Lou
thing,
riff.
yeah.
I wrote that in the shop.
Okay.
Yeah, that was how that became a song. But yeah, like that's great off the top. And like for me, like I think at that point it would just be more pinpointing. Like that's a very good source tone. And I think for me, like I want a little bit more gain than that, but I don't really want it to get too much hissier than that. So that's kind of where I would experiment with
aggression,
the aggression, and actually dialing the gain back.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That's great. Yeah. See that to me is great because like. To be completely honest, I would probably go red on that. Red? Yeah, I think so. Like the mids are breaking up like right at a nice point there. Give me that bright switch.
Yeah,
right away, man. Like, right away, it's the bright switch.
Magic switch, dude. It really is.
More low mids. Yes, it has more low mids. What pickups are in the titties? The titties is internet speak for Aristides.
I figured as much. Yeah.
These are
Oh, the color change on that thing in the lights, man.
Oh yeah, you didn't see that. Yeah,
Forget about it.
Pretty sweet.
It's going from purple to red too, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that is actually pretty neat. I didn't even think of that. I've seen pictures of this like where it looks both ways based off the lighting. I think they're Duncans. I think it's the Sentient Nazgul set. I'm not 100% sure. That sounds dumb, but I don't really know for sure. It's whatever they sent in.
Whatever they sent you.
I believe it's the Sentient Pegasus set, which I'll be honest, it's not bad. In my 7-string, I have the Aristides Customs, the bare knuckles, which I do like quite a bit more, I think. So maybe I want to put a set of the Peg Cities in here. I want to get Chris to build me a set similar to the Angry Widows.
Cool.
And to put them in here. I think that'd be a nice taste. But yeah, so that sounds great to me. So usually, yeah, I would kind of like, I go from the approach of like, I know what voicing switches I like, so I would probably just put those on first.
Both of them?
Yeah, like I know that I like to use the bright and the cut. Yeah, man. That's honestly, man, like I would probably take the treble down a touch, boost the mid a little bit, and then put the depth up a bit. And that's probably where I'm living, I think. Upper mid attack sounds nice. Yeah, man, the Aristides is very bright for sure. I found red to be hairier than the purple, but I'm starting to see the beauty of it. Yeah, man, for sure. Again, like it is hairier for sure, but it just saturates in a different way. So like when you push the aggression on it and turn the gain back, like it smooths out actually like quite a bit,
Quite nicely,
which is nice. Yeah, even for like a lead tone, I would go. Oh,
This one.
on that one. Yeah, so go. I guess go. You know what? Let's have some.
Yeah.
Let's do that, and then maybe just give me some of the delay, like a little bit of verb. I like darker lead tones, and I think that the red channel does that in a way that I like.
Yeah.
Like I think if I had to pinpoint what I would prefer it for, it would be that, because like it's bright, like it's clear, but you can kind of get that more scooped out mid. I don't know. Oh, hey, Dad, what's up? You should do a gear and beer some timeline and feature how to get similar results from different guitars. That's a great idea, actually. Different types of pickups and sets. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. Should get you down here for that, actually. We gotta get you down and do another one for. I don't even know if we need to have you down for gear maintenance or if we just have you down just to hang out and enlighten us on things.
I gotta go see Bruce and give him some guitars to fix up for me.
Yeah.
All my guitars need some love right now for sure.
Yeah, it went to start.
The Strat that I brought is like, forget about it.
Daryl, how's it going, man? Or just to hear. Alex, or just to hear his sweet, gentle voice. Yeah, everyone agrees. It's kind of John shaking his head. Oh, Dad, John Pletz here, helping out with audio tonight because Manny's heading out of town tomorrow. So, yeah. So, I think general consensus. What would you say? Like, I think that, you know, if you do gravitate to more of these sounds, or like to one of these sounds more than the other, you know, it's a great way to save a good chunk of change, basically. As
opposed to getting the 120.
Yeah. Like if you know what you want, and like, again, both of these channels, you know, will do a wide array of sounds and like genres and stuff like that. I think it just comes down to whether you prefer like the more mid-focus sound or the more scooped out sound.
Yeah.
And if you know that you're a fan of one of those two things, then yeah, this would be a great option for you. You know, it's more simple. Or if you just want something that's like less intimidating than the 120. You know, it's a 3-channel amp as opposed to a 4-channel. So if you know what you want,
then it's a great way to it's a great way
to save. Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm still a $100 guy.
Yeah, I will say
I've gone back and forth so many times, but I keep coming back to it.
Yeah. What does he say? Oh, he says, "Hi, John. What's up? Sorry I'm late. Love my 100p. Doing good. How about you guys? Good, man. Yeah, doing great. Get Bruce to set up that 91 for me with 11s half down." Yeah, for sure, Derek. We can definitely do that. Derek grabbed an early 90s Les Paul that is just killer. So we'll have to bring that by. Yeah, Daryl, that's great. I'm glad to hear you got 100p, man. It's cool seeing people pop up in here too, because like the 120 does get a lot of love, but it's cool seeing like all the 100R and 100p owners pop up in here and kind of say, you know, like why they enjoyed that amp. And I feel like, you know, going back and stepping through this again, there are definitely things I love about both of them, and I think I do love them both for different things. But for me personally, I probably would still opt for purple.
The purple, yeah.
Yeah, just because I do prefer that much more mid-focused sound. I do prefer the more kind of modern sounds, and just again when you like play that classic rock tone you just had going, like, you know, that kind of shows me enough that like I could get any sort of rock tone out of that, and it enforces to me that I just personally like more mid-forward sounds. You know. There it is. You guys are cruising. Oh, jeez. That's great. Love it.
It's interesting, too, how, like, we have pretty much the same setup on both these amps for each other now. Like, the way I would get my sound to purple is like...
I didn't even notice that, like, how we would get each of our respected tones are like dialed pretty much
honestly,
the same way.
It's pretty much the same as I would set the red if I was setting the red for myself here. Like,
yeah. But it just shows you too that like a lot of it is just in terms of how you play it,
how it
responds to that, and everyone else does. Like, you know, the same setting. It's funny because like looking at how you dialed that too. If we switch back, or I guess I'll just take the cable and use this.
Oh yeah, sure.
But like if all right, you don't get the volume. I'll give you this one.
Oh, that's not even my tuner.
I guess it
is now
still
again.
Needed it, but oh no, what happened?
Just my pedal board's making noise.
Both of them are. My input jack's messed up.
Oh no.
Oh no. It's okay. We're getting there. Sorry. Like the way you had this dialed for your sound. Like exactly how I'd dial it for that, you know?
A minor second, yeah.
Guitar pig and loving it. Oh, it's my favorite comments always coming down to someone actually addresses their guitar. Exactly. And that's what we were just saying is like, like Bo dialed in a tone for how he would do it. And like looking at this now, like that's pretty much exactly how I would dial this for what I do. But like it you know, just like responds differently to different players. And I will say that tone also responds really well to like the...
It sounds like a completely different thing,
yeah, like it responds to the split differently. So like really it's gonna do whatever you want it to. So yeah, I think I would probably I will stick with my purple decision.
I'll stick with my R, I think, too.
There you go. Just bought the 100p MK3. What channel would you use a G4 pedal with in front so I may explore the red channel? And it would say be pretty close to the same channel as the real red channel. Sorry, I bought 100p. What channel would you use with the G4 pedal in front so I may explore the red channel? Well, the G4 is like pretty well. I mean, I will say like it was voiced after the MK2, so like the MK3 red channel is a little bit different. But using the G4 with like any clean channel on any amplifier should, you know, get you in the realm of what the fourth channel is going to sound like for sure. More gentle chugging, nice. Let's hear some higher lows riffs. You've only heard 2 songs, bud. Put it into the clean channel. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, G4 into the clean channel, G3 into the clean channel, G2 into the clean channel. All do a really good job of actually sounding like the amp channel when they're
Yeah.
in front. Like it's not like like the way it colors it still responds like an amp channel even in front. Like I see a lot of people ask like, oh, do I have to run it in the effects loop as a preamp to get it to sound like that?
Yeah.
And like we
No.
we definitely recommend running it in front.
Yeah.
For sure. So if you had a Revv and you wanted to use the G4 clean channel, if you got a Fender, just run it on top of the clean channel, you know, anything like that, for sure. I'm trying to think, Anthony, I can show you one riff. What's a riff? Just trying to think, man. I don't want to give away too much. We've got some more stuff coming soon, so. We have 2 more recorded already. That will be. We're gonna space it out. Like I think the idea with that was to kind of just slow burn it so that we can actually build up a little bit of a following before putting out a larger body of work, and not just put out an album right away for no one to hear. But we've got, I think, about 15 songs written now, and 2 more that are already recorded. So we're going to stretch those out over the next couple months, and then hopefully finish up a larger body of work for later in the year.
Right on, man.
Yep. Yeah, what have you been working on, dude? Are you guys like...
Not a lot right now. Planning to record again with Northern Royals in October.
Yeah, where are you guys going?
I think Privateer is where we're going right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's still a lot of stuff to discuss there, but plan is for sometime around October, yeah.
Nice, that's killer, dude. Yeah. So you guys, like, do you have a lot of the songs written, or are you in the...
We've got a bunch of stuff written. We're just kind of like in the refining everything stage right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of honing everything, doing pre-pro demos and all that fun stuff.
Totally.
Yeah, sweet. Here, I'll play you guys one riff here. So I'll play the fog riff because it's like actually kind of shreddy. The rest of it's just power chords.
Dagad?
Yeah. We use E flat standard and then also dadgad or dadgad down a half step. I like those types of chords. I love the D major stuff. What was
Love
There
it.
you go. The Irish riff.
It just sounds so Irish.
Does George Lynch use Revv now? I think he might have tried some of our stuff. We just did the, or Two Notes just did the George Lynch cab pack not too long ago.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, which we've tried out on our stuff. Guitar's super clean in the amp, does a great job of maintaining the clarity, saturation you've done. And thanks, Dad. I will say, like, you know, Tone, much more experience with it than I do. But that's kind of what I like about it. Like, it saturates really nicely, but it's clear and kind of like balancing that. Like, this is a very mid-focused guitar. So, with the Les Paul, it's more of like a full spectrum. Where this is very
tight,
very high mid all the time. So, not that I know of, Derek. Yeah, not that I know of. If he does, then we should get in touch. I mean, maybe he's tried one down the line. Hopefully, the Two Notes guys showed him one. Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, if anyone has any questions or anything that they would like to hear, please let us know. I'm going to turn this thing back up to standard so that I don't go to play it and completely biff whatever we try to do. But yeah, if anyone has any questions about the red channel or the purple channel or any of our stuff in general, or if you want to hear anything before we sign off here, let us know. And thank you a lot for tuning in tonight. I will say that I do kind of feel like I was revisiting the first time I tried the amps and really actively comparing what I'm hearing, and I'm I do lean more purple for sure, but I do think that the red channel on the Mark III has changed a lot and is a lot more versatile than it was, and does a lot more than just the super saturated saggy thing. A lot of the really nice traditional tones.
It's funny because we keep talking about how it's more saturated or whatever. People keep bringing that up or asking, and it's I would still use a red for more of my lower gain rock stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, Derek, how can I be an awesome guitar player like you? Boomer bends. Just all the boomer bends. Oh man, Black Dahlia Murder. Damn, I don't even know if I could do any of that anymore. Just diminished. I don't know. I can't play any of that stuff. I bet the secret is string gauge. Yeah,
Nailed it.
Yeah, you got to use 11 to 49s only. Or no, what is it you're using now, Derek? The 10 to 52s. 10 to 52 is great, man. I will say.
Bottom? Yeah, I used to use it all the time.
Yep, or the 11 to 52s as well. Yeah. Thanks to the super enlightening questions that that we never get asked.
Thanks, boss. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think if that's that, then yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. And let us know, for anyone watching the video after the fact, let us know if you're red or purple. And if you own a 100p or a 100R, we'd love to hear from you. Post some stuff with your rig and let us know. Let us know why you chose. Let us know why you chose what you did. Sorry, Cliff. It's a digital reverb that Dan created himself, so it's not like anything else. Do you feel different being 30? I feel worse about myself. No, I actually don't. I will say I felt in my early 20s, like when I remember the year where I really felt bad was I was 21 and then I turned 22 and I was like, oh, this isn't going to stop, is it?
Yeah.
This isn't good.
I thought that was at 25. 30 feels cool. I don't mind 30.
And then as I got closer to 30, I was like, okay, I feel pretty well as old as I think I'm ever going to feel in my mind, so we'll just go with this.
I bet you were going to feel older.
Yeah. How do you like being 40, Derek? How do you really feel about your boss? Well, yeah, I feel like he and his wife should have a good time on their vacation right now. I will say, you know what? All honesty, Derek is friggin' awesome, and it'll be great to have him back on the stream. But yeah, man, getting us set up to be able to do something like this and hang out and interact with all you people and stuff is amazing. And yeah, we're really lucky to have everything that Derek does for us. Absolutely,
man, yeah.
100%.
Greatest job in the world, dude.
Yeah. Spring. I don't really know, Cliff. I'll have to check with Dan. I believe it's more of a room reverb. Yeah, I believe it's like a room reverb. I don't know exactly what it is. It's similar to the Dynamis. If you've heard the reverb in the Dynamis, I think it's the same reverb tank. I believe it's more of a room type sound for sure. And you also can go in, if you're using the direct out, and experiment with the 2 notes reverbs in the cabinets.
Yeah, exactly. The room verbs.
Yeah, there's tons of room verb. Oh, it is digital? No, it's digital, but
it's a digital room.
We did say it was digital, but just saying what does it sound like? And I think it does sound more sonically like a room verb, but it is just like a chip. It is like a digital reverb. It's not Spring or anything like that. Go fetch my cane, dude. I feel like I need a cane now. All the shoveling, my back is just frigged.
Just frigged,
but bunged her up real nice. Terry, my leg's all bunged up. Do you remember from Foo-Far?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually just rewatched Foo-Far.
Yeah. Just got my G3 metallic bronze. Nice. Sweetwater represent. That's awesome. Even my neighbors love it, too. Awesome, dude. Yeah, they can't even see what color it is, and they love it. You're going to put Adrian. Nice. Sounds kind of like Hall to me. It does sound kind of like a Hall reverb to you, Alex? I guess so. It does have, a very long... range of decay time. So, and I feel like as the decay, it's just one level on it. I feel like as the decay increases, the room does slightly get larger.
Okay.
So perhaps it does have more of a hall feel. I mean, a hall is just a big room.
I was going to say maybe it just moves from a room to a hall.
Maybe it goes from a room to a bigger room.
Get out of the room, step into the hall for a bit.
Bust some low end into that bad boy. All right, let's do it. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Just quickly before we sign off.
The pink one.
I did bring this just because I knew we'd want to hear some low stuff.
I love it.
Bunged up means constipated in Bloomnort. My dad says that's hilarious. Quickly, I'll just show you what the 7-string sounds like on the purple and the red.
Yeah.
And then we'll get going here. But yeah, I do prefer Purple.
Purple.
That's red. Quickly. Just so you can hear what she does. Grab the tuner there. Now this is the red here. Derek, I actually don't know Kickstart My Heart. Is that sorry, we digress. 7-string on the red channel. Like again, like someone was asking about like the death metal tones. Like, close enough. So again, tighter, but like more pissed. You know, like kind of more segment. The purple handle's really low tunings, a lot easier for me than red, I think. Because like the low end response is very, very tight. So. Cool. That's your dose of 7-string for the evening. Alrighty, guys. Yeah, I think if we got any more questions, we'll answer those. Otherwise, we're probably going to hit the old dusty.
Just about ready to go here.
Hit the old dusty trail.
Just give her.
Just give her. Nice. Just give her, bud. Hit the old ice roads. Just give her. Ice road truckers. Man, you ever watch that show?
Yeah, man.
That's terrifying, man. I would never do that.
Dude.
Like 100%.
My uncle used to drive ice roads.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that is terrifying. Yeah, I would never do that.
I
ever.
can't imagine yet.
No, the amount of tension in it, I would just be like, can't do that.
And just the constant sound of the ice cracking underneath your truck. No, thank you.
Sounds horrible. Alrighty, I think we're gonna sign off. Let's have a little jam.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing we did to start this thing off.
Let's do drop. Oh wait, yeah, you're here. Yeah, go for it.
On there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because our in-ear mixes are gonna be all screwed. Let's switch back here. Why don't you try this thing?
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
it's in drop D. You can ignore the low string.
I'm going to ignore the low string.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Nope. Okay, see you guys. Have a good night, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We'll see you next week.